had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly, my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Well, it's a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I am excited about another opportunity to be on with you to share some ideas with each and every one of you as we go through this time of COVID and challenges and changes, yet we are still here, and I'm grateful for that. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, oh, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be on with you one more time. Today, we got a show about how to go from where you are to where you want to be, and how to get there through a process, not just hoping and praying, but actually doing some specific steps to get you there. You do not want to miss this show. You all know his name, Les Brown, the motivator, the #1 motivational speaker in the world. But then there's Mike Williams. You might not know his name, but he's the one who helped Les Brown become Les Brown. Y'all are going in, y'all in for a treat today. So hold on, tune in, stay tuned. Call your mama, call your daddy, call your brothers and sisters, because they need to tune in. I want to take a moment. You know, I start every show first giving that minute, God's minute. Then I take a moment to give God some glory. I give him some praise, some thanks, for gratitude for being here. We're still here, and we should be grateful. And I'm grateful for every day. God's gift to us is life. Our gift to God is what we do with our lives. And so that is why I do this show, to help you do something extraordinary with your life. And so I hope you will take full advantage and give God the glory for every day you wake up without, as Les Brown said, without a chalk line around your body is a good day. And so I want to thank God. And then I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor. We're happy to have the support of Truist Bank. And I want to tell you about Truist Money and Mindset. The way you feel and think about money can affect your confidence and, frankly, your total well-being. That's especially true when life gets real, gets hard, and throws challenges your way. So Money and Mindset from Truist gives you tips and tools to help you feel more financially prepared through your planned life moments as well as life moments that just happen. Folks, it really is amazing what Truist is doing. You can check out Money and Mindset by heading to truist.com, where you'll find it in the main menu. Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian. brought to you by Truist. And this show is brought to you by Truist. Well, I gave you a quick synopsis of what this show is going to be about. It's going to be about how do you take a guy who is a legislator in Ohio, and then he leaves the legislature, he gets on radio, he starts doing his activism, but he's a radio guy, local Columbus radio personality. And a guy named Mike Williams says to this young man, you got something special. I'm going to help you become bigger, better, and help you become an expert in personal and professional development. And Les can tell it better than anybody else, but Mike Williams encouraged, inspired, and empowered in some ways Les Brown. And now the result is 30, 40, almost 50 years later, I think now, y'all can tell me the time. 50 years later, Les Brown is the number one motivational speaker in the world. He can command $100,000 a speech because of a Mike Williams. We want to talk about what we're going to learn from today and with Mike's new book, as well as what Les can share about the impact and the lessons he learned from Mike. Les Brown and Mike Williams, welcome both of you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll start with Les because I want you to kind of introduce Mike. I think no one can really tell who and what he is and how he's impacted your life better than you.
Well, Mike is a genius and prophet from Coshocton, Ohio.
Coshocton, Ohio.
Nobody ever heard of it. It's way behind God's back. Nobody ever. and Mike saw this Les Brown before I saw him. And here's the interesting thing. I hired Mike as my newsman. I was the program director, and Mike had to manage me because I was wayward. These are my pre-saved years. There's a broadcast window at WBKL radio station. And so when you walk past, if you're on the air, you can see whoever passed the window. I was so out of it and so disconnected with reality and this Les Brown. I would wait till Mike got ready to do the news. And then I would get on my knees. God is my witness, as well as Mike. And I would crawl on my knees past the window so he couldn't see me. And then by the time I get to the door and get in my car and he would spot me, he'd come out and say, Brownie, where you going? What's up? I'm going to get some French fried rice in the Chinese store. He said, man, come on. You crawling on your knees so I can't see you. You are my program director, and I got to correct you. Am I making this up, Mike?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And so Mike talked to me between records. I was just, at that time, LB Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing popper. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single and love to mingle, certified, bona fide, and indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction, a whole lot of action. Now, mind you, that Les Brown, Mike, through all of that madness and all the other things that he saw this Les Brown. And it really demonstrates the value of someone who can see you. There's an area, and you know this, Willie,
yes,
where Jesus came to a city and a lady cried out for mercy. And the scripture said he saw her. And yes, and so Mike saw me. He didn't see the fast-talking disc jockey. He didn't see this dude that was living recklessly and did not know his potential to do more than be a disc jockey in a community. Well, in fact, he's the one that brought me to a level of awareness that I could use radio as a tool to do more than just entertain people, but to activate them. And I became an activist. He taught me how to activate people to work in behalf of limiting the things that were maintaining our detriment during this particular time. And so during the conversations between records, here comes Wilson Pickett coming down the ramp like a natural born champ. Come on, Pickett, turn on your soul, Pickett. You know, I had all these little rhymes up in here. Like, talk to me. And he got through to me. He saw me and he worked with me until I saw myself.
Wow. Wow. There's an old saying that I know you've said many times, Les. Sometimes someone else has to believe in you to your belief in yourself kicks in. And they have to see something in you that you don't see. Or as you said, the quote, what's the great quote? See a person as they are and they will always be as they remain. What's that quote, Les?
See a person as they are, they only becomes worse. But see them as if they were, then they will become what they could be.
Right. So Mike, welcome, folks. Mike Williams is a coach, a consultant now, but he is the guy who took that fast talking, hip talking radio personality and crafted and molded him into a world-class motivational speaker, communicator, and thinker. Because you had to change his thinking too, didn't you, Mike? Tell us a little more about it. Yeah, tell us. Go ahead, tell us your story, Mike, and how you did this or what happened.
I came to Les and I met at an event where I was speaking, and he was in the audience. I was a community activist, was asked to speak at a community forum on education, and school it was getting ready for the school to start, and we're talking about trying to create some accountability for what was happening in public education, and I was the speaker. Les came up afterwards and said, I like what you're saying. I like your point of view. And I've heard you at other events. And he said, you ever thought about broadcasting? And I said, well, I actually grew up around broadcasting. Strangely enough, in a small town like Coshocton, Ohio, there was a program director and a broadcaster, another broadcaster, both of whom were cousins of mine, who were in radio in this small town. Got to be the only place in the country where, predominantly white environment, audience, staffing, everything, had a Black program director. And so I grew up sort of shadowing radio. But in this situation, Les came up to me and he asked me that. I said, well, I'm working for a program that's about to be discontinued, and I'm trying to figure out what my next move is. He said, give me a call if you're interested in broadcasting. Well, considering that mindset that Les described for you, it was a little hard to get through. I left message after message after message. One day I reached him on the air and he said, what are you doing right now? I said, well, wait. I just glad to meet you, to connect with you because I've been trying to catch you. Come on out to the station. Now, come on out now. I come out to the station and we're talking, catching up and that kind of thing. And he asked me this question, which I'll never forget. He said, can you read? And I said, well, yeah, thank you. I've been reading since I was a child. Thank you very much. He said, good. He left the room, came back in a couple of seconds while a record was playing, and tore off. I didn't realize what he had done. He had tore off a newscast, 5 Minute Summer. He came in, tore it off, handed it to me and said, you said you could read, right? I said, yeah. He said, read this. So I started, going through it, reading. I said, mm-hmm. He said, no, I want you to read it on the air. I said, what? He said, yeah. You said you could read. So I'm in about a couple of minutes, give you a couple of minutes to look it over, and I'm going to have you read it live. We're counting down, and it's the AP Wire story for that hour. And Les says, okay, ladies and gentlemen, the news this hour is presented by Mike Williams.
Wow. What an audition. What
an audition. It was an on-air audition, and 2 weeks later, I started in the news department.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
that's
Hold that
what
thought.
began.
Hold that thought, Mike. We're
Sure.
going to come back and we're going to talk about how he started as a reader on that air, but then he read Les Brown and created a new Les Brown and took him from the fast talking, hip talking disc jockey to the world's #1 motivational speaker, and how the principles that he teaches in his book can help you. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show. We're excited to have you with our special guest, and we know for sure your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Afraid of flying, I always kept my dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs, but Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dream.
Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? I'm Brian Ford, a financial wellness expert.
And I'm Bright Dixon, an expert in positive psychology. Together, we host Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian, a podcast from Truist Bank that's all about exploring the relationship between your money, your mindset, and your well-being.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts or truist.com/money and mindset podcast.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered why some people can make $1 million, lose it, make a second million, lose that, then make a third million, while other people can't even make ends meet? Well, the reason is that those people know the recipe for success. And that recipe is available to everyone if you will do what they did. They made a habit of getting positive, motivational resources of great thinkers and great learners. And I want to offer those same kind of resources to you. We've developed a free page on my website. It's wjspeaks.com/gift. wjspeaks.com/gift. On that site, we've got resources, books, audios that help you to grow, and they're free. So go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, and get some of those resources, and then share that page with your friends and your family members. We want to impact and inspire millions of people. And remember, if you enjoy this message on this podcast, like it, share it, and post a review about it, and make a difference in the lives of others by letting them know about it. Have a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the T to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show across America. And now I understand around the globe, because we've had people who have been reaching our guests telling how they love this show from London and Spain and Greece. I am grateful wherever you may be, however you are listening, whether you're listening on air or whether you're listening on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast, that is global. You are able to get all my interviews on the podcast. I also encourage everybody to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, and access all of our websites. And you can also sign up for my newsletter, and we'll stay connected, and we'll send you a free 1-minute motivational video every morning that will inspire, encourage, empower, uplift you, and help you to have greater success. And then we want to invite you always to join us every Monday night for the Jolly Marriage Show, where my wife and I talk about how we've been able to stay together and married. We've almost been together for 40 years almost now. And we've been married for going on 38 years and haven't had an argument in over 35 years. So what is it? What's the secret? So we want to tell people how we do it and what can improve their relationships. Join us every Monday night at 9 o'clock on Facebook Live, A Jolly Marriage on Facebook, A Jolly Marriage on Instagram, and Willie Jolley LinkedIn Live for the Jolly Marriage Show. My guests today are two world changers. Everybody in the world knows Les Brown, the greatest motivational speaker, pound for pound, in the world today, for sure. And I tell people publicly and privately that the impact he's had on my life and on my speaking. He is my big brother in the speaking industry and has mentored me and helped me to grow as a speaker. But there was somebody who helped him to grow and become who he is today. And that is a guy named Mike Williams. He's a consultant, a coach, and he's a strategist. And he has a new book, which I want everybody to go out and get. Tell us about the book, Mike, before we tell the people about what you did to help change Les Brown's thinking.
The book is called The Road to Your Best Stuff 2.0, Pushing Your Career, Business, or Cause to the Next Level and Beyond. And everything that I think I've done prior to this point in my life sort of gave me impetus or led me to the point of saying, when I put this down, I don't know if this is going to be my last book or whatever it is, but I'm going to put this down. I wanted to have some kind of empowering legacy value for people who pick it up, who can say, how do I get some method to my idealism? Or how do I take something which is a core idea or a passion and really not just make it happen in the sense that we generally talking about, like psyching yourself into it, but putting some method to it, to actually assessing where you are in the midst of things. What are the things that you have working for you, and how do you get those things into maximum value and maximum utility for you along the path of becoming that best that you have within you to be. Amen. So that's what the book is about. This
The Road to Your
version.
Best Self 2.0. I want everybody to get the 2.0 version.
Yes.
All right. It's fantastic.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's 2.0, folks, because this is a great book that will help you. Now, let's talk about what you did. How did you take this guy? And he said it. He said he was a live wire. And I've heard about how Les Brown was in Columbus, Ohio on the radio. It was notorious.
Absolutely.
How did you take this guy? What did you do to change his thinking first, and then to help him to grasp this to become the best motivational speaker in the world today?
What I saw, Willie, was raw connectivity, I guess you'd call it. One of the things that you get from broadcasters in general is a kind of performance capacity. They know how to deliver a line or that kind of thing. And they can, whether they rhyme or don't rhyme, they have this sort of charismatic connection. But Les had this ability to see people and connect with people in a way that I had not seen before. And it didn't just show up it showed up in events. Like the first time I saw Les in a public environment was at a rally that he was holding. He was already an activist when he and I got together, but he was, I would say he was unschooled and kind of going this way and that way. And I started thinking, well, how do these two guys even match up? This guy that's out here rallying people around accountability for schools and education with this guy that I see on the air. So what would happen is from time to time, and you just see him, if you see him in thought, and I guess I have this thing that see something, say something.
Right.
If I see it and I can pull a coat, I'm gonna do it. Sorry, whether you want to hear it or not, I'm gonna pull a coat. And I said to Les, this is really only a small piece of what you can do. This microphone. I said, no, you have fun with it, and I appreciate the fun. I said, but you can inspire, inform, and inspire, and do a whole lot more with this same microphone that people are laughing at, and the laugh gets you in. So, but there's so many things you can connect with beyond the laugh that's out there for you. And one day when I said that, something like that to him, he actually left the studio with a record running, left the studio and said, "What are you talking about?" So that's when we had our first kind of in-depth conversation about that. It was kind of like, think of all the people that you know who have a microphone from time to time. They get a rally or they're speaking at a certain event, or the people that we admired and on a national stage, but they don't have a microphone every day for X number of hours a day, and you do. So if you had to bring to people, even if it's not what they were bringing or the level that they were bringing, if you take your audience seriously and you think, how can I move them somewhere? How can I take them somewhere? You're doing it every day. And if you can do that, be in that kind of mindset, I probably was using the word consciousness at the time because that was a word.
That was the word we were all using at that point. A higher consciousness. That's right.
Yes, there you go. We
Right.
got to raise the consciousness,
Right.
So
well, let me ask you this. What did you do when you saw that light finally light up in his eyes? He's kind of listening, but then one day it clicks. What was the next step that you did to inspire him to keep pushing to become better?
I would say the next step wasn't even to inspire. The next step was to step in. When you see a door open, and this is true for people who are in mentoring or whatever kind of role, when you see an opportunity and you pass it up, you might not get it anytime soon, or it might be blown off because the timing might not be right. When I saw that, I went in the door. He opened the door, I went in. And that sort of started with the idea of, the things that you're doing can have some method to it. There's more to this than what strikes you at the moment. And the one thing that you've got going for you is your connection with people. But if you can put some method to that spontaneity, just imagine how much further you could go.
Wow.
So that's the nature of the conversation. Then he would ask.
Oh, okay. What how did that change you, Les? What happened? What was it that shifted you? And what Mike did to shift you?
Mike gave me a larger vision of myself. At that time, I had a limited vision of myself. I saw myself as a disc jockey, and I was very good at what I did. But he gave me a vision of myself beyond that, which I'd been doing for years and thought that was what I was supposed to be doing for the rest of my life. And the work that we do is to give people a larger vision of themselves beyond their mental conditioning, beyond their circumstances, beyond their environment and things that they have experienced. He allowed me to start living out of my imagination as opposed to my history as a fast-talking disc jockey that was entertaining and being able to garner and entertain and empower an audience, to becoming more responsible and using the microphone to educate and to empower people. That expanded vision caused me to begin to study, to read, and to live up to the expectations that I felt that he had for me when I listened to him and I looked in his eyes. No one rises to low expectations, but he always made me feel that I could do more. And it's very important to have people in your life that will challenge you and that can see things in you that you can't see, that can take you to a place in yourself that you can't go, and help you to begin to operate from that expanded vision that you see. Our favorite book says, I'll give you all your eyes can see. I saw it once he helped me to begin to believe in this expanded vision of Les Brown.
Wow. That's a great, this is real life, a real life object lesson of what it took to take Les Brown from this hipster. But you was running around the town. I know that. But
me Les Brown, the man about town.
There you go. There you go. So this hipster, to take him and encourage him and also get him to see a bigger vision. And what Les just said is what we do. What we do and what I saw first time I saw Les. And by the way, Mike, I want to say this so you'll hear it. Les doesn't just talk about you when you're in the present. When you're present, he talks about you all the time.
I hear it.
Yeah, for 30 plus years. I've known Les now 30 plus, almost 40 years. And he has talked about you, and he was the one who got me to say, I got to know this Mike Williams. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about some of the specifics that Les was able to engulf and embrace, and some of the things that Mike taught him, and then some of the things you can get from this book, which you need to have. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We're going to take a break for station identification, and then we'll be right back with more. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store. Get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And I'm so excited about the opportunity to be on with each and every one of you. And I'm grateful for your sharing this show with your friends, your family, your coworkers, telling them you got to listen to Willie Jolley Show, because he is giving a show where there's not about politics or not about who did what. It's always about empowerment, helping you to have greater success in your personal and your professional life. That's what I talk about. That's all I talk about, helping you to win in every part of your life. And so many people have come and said, hey, I started listening to your show. I started a business. I'm growing my success, my wealth. So many have said their relationships have grown, their families have grown because what we share. So I'm grateful. Also, I'm grateful for our sponsor, Truist Financial, Truist Bank. Truist believes that better lives and communities begin with care. That includes caring a lot about the well-being of their clients. Let me tell you what I mean. Truist is really interested in improving the connection between your finances and your personal well-being. So they launched Money and Mindset. It's an online resource to help you build financial confidence and a healthier mindset about your money. I've spent time with Money and Mindset. I've been a guest on their podcast. It's the real deal. One good takeaway I found was that when you're on top of your finances, you can enjoy benefits beyond reaching goals. They think reducing overall stress or feeling greater reassurance, knowing that you're better prepared for a financial challenge should it come your way. There's also a Money and Mindset podcast that everyone can access. Just go to truist.com, look for the Money and Mindset podcast with Bright and Brian, and you can find it and listen to it on any podcast delivery system you have. So I highly recommend you take some time, jump into this great resource, search truist.com, and get an account at Truist, because they're doing great things for our community. My special guest today are two people. You know one very well, but there's one behind him who has been pushing him. The wind beneath us winging, someone might say. Les Brown, you know him as the author of Live Your Dreams. In fact, Les, I was literally on a interview the other day, and a guy said, my life was in a mess. I was a mess. I was going nowhere. And I stumbled into a bookstore and I saw a book with this guy on the cover called Live Your Dreams. I didn't have any dreams, but I bought that book. And that book changed my life. He's now a vice president of a major corporation. He said it changed my life. And there is a Les Brown that we all know, motivational speaker extraordinaire, PBS specials, television shows. He has been named not just the greatest motivation speaker on the planet by Toastmasters, but also the Golden Gavel winner. He's in the Speaker Hall of Fame. He is by far, in my estimation, and I know the great speakers. I was the chairman of the Speakers Hall of Fame Leadership Committee last year, the first African-American in that position. I can tell you he's the finest and greatest motivational speaker on the planet. But how did he become that? That's where Mike Williams came in. Mike Williams is a world-class consultant, coach, strategist, and he took a raw talent named Les Brown, who was behind a microphone on a radio station doing the hipster talk, and created this guy. I told Mike, tell me, and I'm going to let you tell me first what you did, and then let Les tell the impact of your actions. What were the steps? What were the things? What can people do to go from where they are to where they want to be, and things that you talk about in your book?
One of the things that I would say is the primary piece that the book is about that relates to where Les and I were so many years ago is starting the important process of your quest with getting self-aware. If you don't know who you are and where you're going and the things that connect to that, you can get pulled this way or that. And if all you're doing is in a performative mode, then the things that matter to you ultimately don't get addressed. And you don't get to the things that matter without saying, who am I? One of the things I talk about in the book is I like the story of Chadwick Boseman, who we lost so early in his life at the end, during the COVID year, first COVID year. Chadwick said, when he was asked, how do you choose the scripts? How do you get this movie or that movie? How do you choose the scripts? And he said, I asked myself this question. First, who am I? And I took that to as a confirmation for what the work that I've been doing and that you and Les and I have been doing around self-development that begins with self-awareness and putting structure to that. So the book is a structural way to look at who am I. There are 4 dimensions that I talk about: personal, professional, organizational, and promotional. And those 4 dimensions give you a way of plotting out, where am I strong, where am I weak, where am I going, where am I not clear about? And that process, that methodology is the same kind of thing that Les and I were talking about years ago to each other, or me to him and him back to me and to others, is that if you're willing to get serious enough to put method to the madness and make the madness meaningful, there are all kinds of things that you can do that you haven't necessarily even considered.
Wow. So that's personal, professional, organizational, and what was the last one?
Promotional. Putting your stuff out there.
Okay. Now, Les, tell me what Mike's system did for you to help you to craft and build this business.
One is what he said, self-awareness, discovering the truth of who you are. You think about Lion King, Simba, you're more than that which you have become. And he did that before Lion King came along. He helped me to realize I was more than that which I have become. Self-approval is very important, all right? That when you go from self-awareness to self-approval, what you achieve in life is directly related to what you believe that you deserve. And that that self-approval, it's something that's always going up if you work on it. If you don't work on it, you become stagnant. And if whatever you achieve goes beyond your own sense of self-approval, you will unconsciously engage in self-destructive behavior. So self-approval goes to self-commitment, that you will commit yourself. Once you see those things, that you begin to say, this is what I want to do with my life. This is what I feel that I can extract out of myself. This is the kind of statement that I want to make with my life. And that self-approval drives you to self-commitment, that you're willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish those things. And that commitment comes to self-fulfillment. You're going to accomplish some things, but it takes you right back to, how do I get here? Who am I? What is it I had to do in order to get here? And then raising the bar on yourself, your approval rating, and then going to the level of committing yourself to doing those things that you need to do again. And then you're going to accomplish some things. You're going to achieve some things. And it's a cyclic process. And building the business, that it created a hunger in me. I was reminded yesterday about when I was building the business, and we're living at a time where people come into this business and they want to start getting paid engagements out of the gate.
Right.
Really, I did hundreds of speeches and never got a dime. And the first time I got a $50 love offering, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. But they say a calling is something that you love so much you do it for nothing, but you do it so well that people will pay you to do it. All of those free engagements that I did helped me to build my skill set. And with the coaching, having someone with a trained eye, someone that can see what you can't see and teach you how to take your stuff to the next level. So there was never a question, even though I was the what you have called me one time, the Jackie Robinson in the self-development space.
Right.
That Mike, he helped me to not just be seen as a guy telling people, oh, just think positive and be enthusiastic and everything will work out all right. Mike taught me the value of having content that people can use, methods that they can implement, stories that can touch their hearts and ignite greatness in them to begin to step up and to make a statement with their lives. So that process, he always said, impact drives income. So I went from a $50 love offering to, when I spoke for one pharmaceutical company, after being in it for a minute, they paid me $640,000 for 1 month.
Wow.
I never thought, when they say eye has not seen, ear has not heard, doors enter the heart of mankind, what God has in store for you. Hey, I had no idea. But let me share something else with you. I have never talked about this before.
Okay.
We were negotiating with Chamber. Mike was negotiating. And so they offered me $2 million. And Mike, who was negotiating, saying, that's not enough. I got on my knees. I said, Mike, please, let us not be greedy. $2 million is good. Please, Mike. He said, let's leave the room. When Mike got through, we got $5 million.
Wow.
My first check was $2.5 million because of Mike. So you got to have somebody who can see what you can't see. But if they had just got Mike out of the way, they always said, oh, God, he's here. Oh,
Wow, what a story. Woo.
yeah. But I got on my knees. I was begging. I said, Mike, please. I said, don't go over there and ask for more than $2 billion. I don't want them to think that I'm greedy. He said, Brown, let me handle this. I said, okay.
We sent him back to the hotel, Willie.
That was a wise thing to do. And King World eventually gave Les the $5 million and a television show. And it was all because Mike continued to see something in Les, and Les needed his input to continue to see the bigger, better picture. And folks, this is so empowering for me and incredible for me. So we're going to take another quick break. We're going to come back with more insight on how you can take these principles and go from where you are to where you want to be, and how you can transform your life like Les Brown's life was able to be transformed by the principles Mike Williams teaches. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show, and for sure, your best is yet to come.
Call me. You can call on me.
Pick up the phone
You can call
and call me.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs, because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it, because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went, and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there, and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
Motivated, gonna take it to the top.
this is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways Show and podcast. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. My special guest is Les Brown. He has been on this show a number of times because he has an open invitation, and we are so excited about his friend Mike Williams, who is his mentor. And Mike Williams was the guy who saw a raw talent on the radio in Columbus, Ohio, and said, there's something bigger in you. Let me help you get there. And Les was hesitant, but he finally listened, and he took advantage of that great resource. And today he is able to command millions of dollars to go and give speeches. Mike Williams, thank you for being here. Before we go into the interview and the things you're going to teach from the book in these next few minutes, tell them about the book and where they can get the book, please.
It's The Road to Your Best Stuff 2.0, pushing your career, business, or cause to the next level and beyond. You can get it at Amazon. You can do it through my website, MikeWilliamsSolutions.com. Amazon is probably the simplest bet, the quickest bet.
Okay, Mike, so tell us what you say in the book that helped you to transform Les Brown and other speakers. You don't do it just for Les Brown. You do it for others, for companies, for organizations around the world. Tell them some of the lessons or tips that you tell people what to do.
The 4 dimensions are set up so that they give you a way of looking at those must-dos. One is you can't really get very far in this process of trying to go from micro to macro without looking internally. So part of this, one of those things is you have to look from inside out in order to go to connect yourself to whatever that greater opportunity is. You got to start with who you are and the things that surround that, mind, body, spirit, all of that. The second dimension is professional, that if you look at the field that you're in, the requirements of the field dictate a lot of what you have to do. So if you're looking to do it sort of pie in the sky and not looking at what the field calls for, you may end up missing the mark simply because you tried to do, some sort of roundabout way of getting there, when very often the field dictates certain kinds of things that you got to be willing and able to do. Personal, professional, organizational. The organizational part is get yourself in position to be able to be helped. If you're all over the place, you're not only not organized yourself, you don't even have a way for people who are organized to help you. So help them help you by being open to organization and to organize the things around you mentally and in other ways so that the help can be gotten and utilized. And then promotional, get ready with putting yourself out there. Some people have a fear about putting their stuff out in the universe. The problem is these things don't sell themselves. You got to get comfortable enough with who you are in that first dimension. So when it comes to putting yourself out there in the universe, those things match up easily.
Do what is necessary and be willing to do the hard work because it takes work. That is what I think separated Les Brown from a lot of speakers, is that Les Brown was willing to make the calls. He was willing to get on the phone. He was willing to learn social media. I have been impressed over the years how he became a social media expert because he wasn't even computer savvy when I first met him. Or there was no such thing as a computer when we met. But when computers came out, his computer was a legal yellow legal pad. That was his computer. But he has become computer savvy. He has become on top of it because he was willing to work. Les, what did those 4 dimensions do to you and for you?
It created a hunger. When we look at the stuff that we want, here's what we know, and it's been revealed to us more so now than ever before. And the people that break through, that group that refuse to be denied, that find a way to win in spite of the environment, in spite of the circumstances, that you have to have a hunger that says, I will do what I need to do to develop myself. And because what we know is that people don't live life as it is, we live life as we are. And so we have to look at what needs to be done. What radical change must I make in order to get into this place where I want to go? And have a commitment and a hunger and a determination. I don't want to be just one of the players. I refuse to have myself pigeonholed.
Willie, can I say something about his prep?
Yes.
One of the things that people do not appreciate about somebody who has Les's level of talent is the level of study. You talked about working, but the level of study. Les was digging in, and we were battling back and forth about concepts to do this way or that way, and what do you have to do to dig in underneath this? It's that we had a rolling debate going about whether or not this was enough or that was enough. And he would throw out things that he was reading, I would throw out things I was reading. And that kind of synthesis in his mind formed a different level of understanding about what the challenges were people were facing in the workplace. Les had a much greater understanding and a much greater touch or command of what was happening with people in the work environment than most people who were speaking to them, who sort of got it. It was sort of secondhand, third hand.
Right.
Now, Les had a really intimate sense of what people were dealing with.
I've always been impressed with how he has the capacity to bring complex processes and make them very simple for the average person. Very complex concepts. Well, if I were to take you gentlemen, y'all were coming in town for a conference or something, I pick you up and take you over to Howard University, and we go to a class of students, maybe business students or young entrepreneur wannabes. I want you to give them each a few you got us. You got to do this if you're going to be successful in life and in business. Mike, give them a couple you got us.
One is you got to have a picture or a sense that you're big enough, your ideas are big enough to challenge you, to pull you through something that ordinary people won't utilize to do. It's if you have a sort of mediocre or average sense of what the scope of this is, you're not going to rise very high in it. And the other thing is, when you get that sense of what that vision is, operate with the methodology that matches it. Do what goes with that.
Amen. Les, give me a couple you got us.
I think it's very important to answer that question with what Nietzsche said. If you know the why for living, you can endure almost anyhow. What separated me from other speakers, they were going around giving information, as you know, from Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
Information touched two areas of the brain. I gave a story about wanting to take care of my mother, wanting to buy her a home. A story about your mother, and everybody in the audience, they have one, that touches the heart. When you give a heart-centered message, that touches 5 areas of the brain. I think about your mother, and she had a physical challenge, and she slipped in the snow going to take care of 2 boys that she brought into the world. Her courage and her determination, that I'll never forget hearing her and her stories that she shared. And so that reason for wanting to take care of my mother. Next thing was, I didn't want to be second best. I didn't want to be a speaker. I wanted to be a dominant speaker. I wanted to be a speaker that people would listen to, and I would distract, dispute, and inspire. How people live their lives as a result of the story they believe about themselves. And so with the story that I would share, I would distract them from that story. I would dismantle their current belief system, and I would inspire them to create a new chapter with their lives. That's what I would talk to them about. What is it? What brought you here? Why aren't you on the streets? What is it, the level of discipline and commitment that you decided, no, I'm coming to Howard University. I'm going to be an asset to society rather than a liability. I'm going to make a commitment with my life to stand out for something good rather than a life of mediocrity.
Wow. That says it all, folks. Les Brown, what can people go? Where can they go? What you got new? What can they buy? What can they get? There's something I want people to go and get from Les Brown. Please send them somewhere.
Well, I tell you what, because you give away this motivational message every day, I got to outdo you. So anybody listening to me right now, go to lesbrown.com, mention that you listen to the Willie Jolley Show, and I'm going to send you some motivational material that's going to create the hunger within you and allow you to begin to live your dreams rather than your fears.
You go to lesbrown.com and make sure you mention Willie Jolley. He and his team will get to you, and he is the greatest speaker. If you've not read his books, if you've not gotten his resource, if you don't have his audio programs, you need to purchase them. They will change your life as they've changed so many others. And like that man who read Live Your Dreams, your life can be transformed. Mike Williams, again, where can people reach you and get your resources?
My website is MikeWilliamsSolutions.com. You get the book, audio or digital or softback through that site or from Amazon.com. But I'm available, and I'm going micro to macro and looking for other people trying to do the same thing.
He's trying to help some others become the next great success story. And this is Dr. Willie Jolley. I again want to thank Les Brown, Mike Williams, and Truist for their support. Be sure to check out the Truist podcast, Money and Mindset, with Bright and Brian. It's a real talk about ways to reach financial confidence and boost your mindset. Tune in wherever you listen to podcasts. Truist, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. And when you start with Willie Jolley as part of your weekly routine, your life will be inspired, because we are here for one reason: to help you do more, be more, and achieve more. And with God's grace, we are grateful that he has given us the power to be able to be on this radio and this opportunity to inspire and empower people wherever they may be. I want to encourage everybody to continue to go to winwithwillie.com. Winwithwillie.com. Sign up for all my resources, and then follow us on the marriage show, because we want to save 1 million marriages, enhance 1 million more, and then get the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And then we'll see you soon. Thank you so much, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. God bless you.
Are you tired of crying and complaining? Tired of feeling like life don't treat you fair? Do you see so many others moving on while you're steady going nowhere? Have you maybe come to the conclusion?
Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire. williejolly.com/billionaire or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.